The NBA, nobody considers the European players tough, especially a player from France.
Oh.
Paul Pierce got me going the other day for a few reasons. I'm going to start with the first reason. While he was making fun of European players for being soft, I kept waiting for them to name an American player who is hard. And they showed Draymond taking Gobert in a headlock from behind. And I was like, okay, they didn't say that that's their choice, but they didn't name anyone else either. So you've got Draymond Green cowardly choosing his target of someone who is known to be soft from behind in a headlock and continues to drag someone who isn't even fighting back. Rip on Gobert for that if you want, but you certainly can't give credit to Draymond for doing anything tough there. I would put it closer to the category of cowardly. But are these guys saying that that's what they want European players to act like? Because nobody's tough on the court. Nobody is tough on the court anymore. People are crying about phantom fouls across the board, complaining after every single play. And you want to point at the Europeans? Show me the role model. Show me the role model that Europeans should be basing their behavior on. You know, I didn't want to, but I suspected that some of the increase in flopping would take place in the NBA as people from other countries who all grew up playing soccer, and flopping is a big part of soccer. You can't deny that. And I thought, oh, well, that's going to bring flopping to the NBA. But no. Who is the face of flopping? LeBron James, who is supposedly the face of the NBA. If he's the face of the NBA and the face of flopping, you can't show me one player out there who has a bigger compilation of ridiculous flops than LeBron James, then that is the guy who represents American athletes, and that's embarrassing. You should be trying to side with the Europeans at this point, Paul Pierce. These guys also spent a lot of time making fun of Gobert being so much taller than Alex Caruso. Personally, I'd rather guard or have a guy guarding me that is about my height, because those short dudes are slamming into your joints. They're slamming into your guts and your balls and your knees and your hips. They're putting all their momentum down there where you can get injured a lot more easily. I would much rather be taking punishment to the chest and shoulders than everything down there in the knee and groin area. Being tall can be great, but not when some little guy comes in and slams his body into your lower area. Later on, they said, well, maybe Luka and the Joker. I don't know how they actually ended up choosing Luka over the Joker. I'm not sure how that works, because Joker is someone who actually stood up for himself. And the Morris brother delivered a cheap shot blow to exposed ribs and then turned his back immediately. You know, that's cowardly. That's so douchey to go in and do something that you know isn't cool and then turn your back instead of facing the consequences that you know are coming. You know they're coming. You don't turn your back, you coward, and then pretend that the guy who retaliated is the bad guy for retaliating. Joker put him on the floor, and he should have. He should have. And then Morris actually threatens him, actually says he's going to get his in a podcast later on. Nothing ever happened, which to me, it's even more cowardly to make empty threats. Just keep your mouth shut. If you can't make good on anything, keep your mouth shut. Not that I wanted him to do whatever it was he was implying he was going to do, but it's interesting that he didn't get in trouble for making a threat. So again, you got one guy who stood up for himself, and yet the Europeans are the soft ones. Here's what else got me. It's so weird. It's so weird that I'm defending France and Europe in general. But it's just the American sports networks have become so absurd, it's infuriating. But Paul Pierce said, oh, especially France, you know, with their little sexy language and people who like to go around eating pastries. And I'm sure they're very nice, but
apparently not.
Let me tell you something, Skip. The NBA, nobody considers the European players tough, especially a player from France.
Oh.
You know, they're nice people. They like pastries. They're friendly.
I guess I have become trained to be sensitive to things that will get people in trouble. You've seen certain people make a mistake with their words, have to immediately issue an apology while they're cleaning out their desks. Their careers are over because they said something. And yet, it seems to me some people are off the hook for doing similar things. You have to have the same rules for everybody if you want there to be equality, if you want to make progress. One person can't be setting a bad example and get away with it and think that the whole world is being taught a lesson in better behavior. Because Paul Pierce lumped an entire people into a description based on how they act, how they sound, and what they eat. Oh, and he said frilly at the end. So he also included what they look like or how they dress. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. Tell me why I'm getting this wrong. I trust my viewers. But if that wasn't a predominantly Caucasian country or known to be predominantly Caucasian country, could you say those people look like this, act like this, sound like this, and eat this? That's what those people are. Imagine someone else doing that to a different country or a different race. I mean, do you see where I'm going with this? Oh, jeez. And then the black journalist who said basketball needs to stay black, and made it a black and white thing. How do you not get in trouble for leaving out every other group that wants to become a basketball player? Like, that journalist was so focused on the black and white issue that she didn't even consider maybe there's some little girls that want to grow up to be basketball players that are Hispanic or Indian or Asian or anyone else. I'm sorry, but a white journalist could not have said something like that for a sport that originated from white people. And, you know, I hesitated to release this because now it sounds like whiny white privilege. Look, racism is real. White privilege is real. But I don't have any desire to sit on a panel on national television and laugh with glee as the guy next to me lumps everyone into generalized descriptions. If it's not right, it's not right. Period. My point is, how can you expect to make progress if you have a different set of rules for some people based on skin color? That's reinforcing the idea of racism. Different rules, different treatment, different set of behaviors that are allowed or condemned based on skin color. It's not cool. It sets a bad example, and it encourages more of the victim mentality. It's not just one ethnicity that plays the victim card. As long as every ethnicity on the planet sees people on TV pulling the victim card and being rewarded for it, then every ethnicity is going to be taught by watching that behavior that that's how you should behave. I've been to France a few times, and I mean, it doesn't strike you as the toughest place on the planet, but you also can't lump an entire country of people into one description based on your own opinion and your own experience? Well, apparently you can if you're Paul Pierce. And KeyShawn even said, hold on, you might get in trouble here. Stop. He's not going to get in trouble because of a different set of rules. Having a different set of rules sets a bad example.
No American players are respecting a tough guy from France. It's just, or Europe in general.
Europe in general. Let's just throw an entire continent in there. What if Skip said players from Angola are soft? What if Skip described all people from Angola based on what he thinks they eat, what they sound like, what they act like, and how they dress? And listen, Skip can burn in hell as far as I'm concerned. My point is, did you even think about that? Would it be received differently?
I actually thought when he said Alex Caruso, I was thinking Austin Reeves for some weird reason.
A weird reason or a racist reason? I mean, be honest. You were thinking a short white dude. And all short white dudes look the same, even though Caruso is bald. Now, look, I don't know if that's really why, but you know damn well that you turn the tables here and you can't mistake two people just because they're the same ethnicity. Why can't he just be prepared for the show and know who they're going to talk about? Why did KeyShawn even feel the need to say that? It didn't enhance the conversation at all. You can be sloppy and unprepared and potentially racist and not be punished for it. It's a different set of rules. And having a different set of rules is not setting a good example moving forward. Anyways, well, that was a waste of 12 minutes. But it's out there. I'm curious what people think.